Hello and welcome to Chosen Lifelines for Women. My name is Charmaine Jennings. I'm your Chosen Life practitioner. Well, I've been called to challenge and change the worth, willpower, and wisdom of women. And in this episode, we're highlighting willpower with a little dose of wisdom. We want to highlight willpower like Mary Walker. You might be saying, hey, I know Mary Walker. She lives down the street. I work with the Mary Walker. That's my auntie. I know a woman named Mary Walker. Well, this particular woman of willpower and wisdom, she was born in Alabama in 1848. And we want to highlight and honor her because, again, she helps us ask the question, how old is too old? Are you having and including in your vocabulary, I'm a little too old for that. Okay, I'm grown, or I'm too old. Well, I beg you to ask the question, how old is too old? And you want to respond to that question like Mary Walker. And so I want to introduce you to her through a children's book. And so I love this children's book. I love to read children's book at schools and things like that. But this is called The Oldest Student. And I love this book because, again, it really outlines her life. And so I just want to read a couple of bullet points about things that you can expect in this book. But definitely purchase a children's book for any child that you know. And she was born in 1848, but she was born into slavery. You know the history of this country. She was born into slavery, but at the age of 15, she was freed, right? At the age of 20, she was married and had a child. At the age of 68, she was still working a job, and she was raising money for her church. At the age of 114, oh yes, I said 114, she was the last remaining member of her family, meaning her husband had already died, her children died, so she outlived her children and her husband. And at the age of 116, Mary Walker learned to read. Now, I struggled to read. When I was in second grade, I was supposed to be retained because I couldn't read. And even if I could read and pronounce the words, I couldn't comprehend what I read. And so that means that I'm not reading, right? And so for her to be 116 years old and she was persistent in learning to read, it really speaks to the passion, the power, and that when we truly put our mind to something, we can do it. We can will it to be so. So if you're telling yourself, I'm too old to lose weight, I'm too old to really pick back up my passion project, I'm too old to learn something new, I'm too old to listen to someone younger than me because of my age, I ask you to really reflect on that question. How old is too old? Because according to Mary Walker and her willpower, her ability to resist temptation, to resist her flesh, which probably was saying, I'm tired, I don't have to learn this. How is learning to read at the age of 116 going to serve me? She didn't say that. She said, I want to learn how to read, and she willed it to be so. You know why? Because she has the power, and so do you. So I'm definitely encouraging you to, again, increase your willpower and to definitely know, again, you are... How old is too old? So I want you to think about that. But I also want you to ponder on this scripture. In Ecclesiastes 4th chapter, 13th verse, it says in the Message version, the poor child with some wisdom is better off than an old but foolish king who doesn't know which end is up. That's the Message version. Okay? Ecclesiastes 4th chapter, 13th verse, the New Living Translation says, it is better to be poor but wise youth than an old and foolish king who refuses all advice. So again, to be poor in your youth is one thing, but to be older and foolish just because you refuse to take advice, you know, that's unacceptable. And so how old is too old? We are all old enough to do what Mary Walker encourages at the end of this book, okay? And wisdom belongs to the aged and understanding belongs to the old. But I'm going to tell you, always remain young at heart. It doesn't matter what your age is. Remain young at heart, and it will always set you up to do and to be. And exactly what Mary Walker tells us to do. And she says, you're never too old to learn, right? Which means you're always young enough to learn. So we positively phrase that You're always old enough to learn something, right? So your age doesn't rule you out. It doesn't count you out. You can learn something new. And so I encourage you, buy this book. I encourage you to definitely Google and look up Mary Walker, look up her life and all of the amazing, phenomenal things she did, because she is a woman of willpower. This is your chosen lifeline for women. My name is Charmaine Jennings. Like, share, and subscribe. Book me for a session. Let's enhance, improve, and increase your willpower. Is something getting in the way of you accomplishing your goals and your dreams? Until next time.